Um, Thank you so much for your patience while I was getting that up. Welcome to the annual Top 10 webinar. We are so excited that you all are here today. My name is Katie here, and I am the project manager for iGiveCatholic, and I'm joined by Lisa Shalacy, the national director, and we will be having a moderated conversation with 10 of our wonderful iGiveCatholic participants to learn about the different tips, strategies that they used to find success in their iGiveCatholic campaigns so that you can take them into your own campaigns and learn from what they have done. To get started, we will start as we do all things in prayer. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. O Lord, giver of life, we know that all that we are and all that we have are gifts from you. We live in a world that celebrates consumption, but you call us to be good stewards of all that you have entrusted to us. May this Giving Tuesday prompt us to gratitude and generosity that brings nourishment for the hungry and hope for the hopeless. We pray that iGiveCatholic may be a miracle of loaves and fishes where every gift shared lovingly from a grateful heart becomes bread for the multitudes and the ordinary becomes extraordinary. In this giving and receiving, may our hearts rejoice in you alone, who are Lord forever and ever. Amen. All right, so just a really quick introduction. We are iGiveCatholic. We are a bishop-led initiative. We work with over 50 dioceses across the country to provide a giving day for the U.S. Catholic Church. We also host the USCCB's National Collections, as well as Nebraska Catholic Day of Giving, which is a giving day in May specific to the Nebraska Catholic Diocese. We, just like you, we are a nonprofit, so we rely on the funding and support from other organizations in order to make everything that we do possible. So we are just so grateful for all of our sponsors and for all of those who make this possible for us. All right, so one thing I do want to mention is that we are now going into our 12th year of iGiveCatholic on Giving Tuesday. And this is now our fourth top 10 webinar. So we have lots of resources available both on our YouTube page as well as in our resources. So you can go back and watch the previous videos from previous years, learn from all of the different organizations that we have featured in the past. So something I want to mention too is that we are going to be going relatively quickly through this webinar. So we are also going to have a reference document with a lot more information about the different campaigns that you're going to see highlighted. Today, we will be joined from 10 organizations. This is the order that you will be hearing from them in. And again, these organizations have done an incredible job with their top 10 or with their campaigns. And we're so grateful that we are joined with them today. And so each of these organizations will have about 4 to 5 minutes to present, again, just to keep this within an hour. And very shortly here, I will be entering in that reference document mentioned in the chat. So without further ado, I am going to invite Maria Jensen from Chesterton Academy of St. Louis. Let's see if Maria is here.
Great. There we go. It worked. Okay. Hi, can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Great.
Great. Well, hi there, Maria. I'm Lisa. Hi. Nice to meet you. I know you've been talking to Katie about this. And just for the other attendees in the panel, I have put in the chat the reference document link, the link to the Adobe reference document that Katie created, as well as a link to our results from the 2025 campaign, since our website has moved on to other things, just as reference as you guys are listening to these lovely panelists and participants. So I'm so glad to be starting with you guys, Chesterton. You guys did an amazing job this year. This is your second iGiveCatholic campaign, correct?
Yeah.
But your first peer-to-peer, was that right?
It's the first time we did a peer-to-peer. We've been wanting to do it for a while. One of the benefits to being part of the Chesterton Schools Network is that we get to hear what all the schools do, and we have a few that do
holy plagiarism.
Exactly, yes. So we kind of gleaned from what other schools did and tried it this year, and we have some really competitive people, so it worked really well.
That, I will say, I was looking at all why I think it worked very well? I think it's because you prepared it really well. Just like iGiveCatholic tries to be plug and play to make it easy for users to jump in and make it yours. I took a screenshot of your fundraiser template that you guys made. Did you make it, Maria?
Yes, I did.
And it gave options so that when your students were signing up or whoever it was, you had an option to edit it here or, my story or why, it was a really beautiful template and you created specific images that was for your campaign. So I put a link in that to give some people some ideas of, you can give one boilerplate template, but you gave them options, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
You also had some really great incentives, I imagine, with
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys are at high school, is that correct?
We are a high school. Yeah.
High
Yeah.
schoolers are motivated by incentives. Can you talk a little bit about some of those incentives and actually really the response from your students?
Sure. I mean, we kicked them off at a pep rally, which was great because we had some other fun things and got the excitement going. But when we were structuring our incentives, we really wanted to make sure we were driving like all the students could achieve some incentive. So we had anybody who meets this mark can get that incentive. We're divided into 4 houses. So house incentives, class incentives, individual incentives. So we just try to have a wide range so everybody could be successful with those, which I think was important. Another way that we handled our incentives was we looked at our current fundraising cadence and our gala, which is our biggest fundraiser, draws from the local community. So we really wanted to push Giving Tuesday out to our wider community across the nation because we have a lot of people whose grandparents or aunts and uncles other places. So we had some of our incentives were country-based or state-based. So that really helped them think of who from outside of our local community could become a donor, which is, it's great. The
Well, it's
templates.
very strategic. I'm going to tell you that very often when we talk to organizations about why add yet another fundraiser. I mean, this is exactly why. You look at what you're doing already and where is their hole? How can iGiveCatholic meet a hole that's already in there? It's not competing with something you're already doing. So I think that was a beautiful way to incorporate iGiveCatholic into an overarching strategy rather than have it competing with what you're already doing.
Right.
And can you believe that 4 minutes have already passed? So in closing, you guys, it's so quick. 4 minutes flies
Yes, it is
by.
fast.
I'm going to congratulate you because I looked and saw that last year you had 30 donations in your campaign. This year, do you know the number offhand? Because I looked it up this morning.
452.
452 donors, 465 donations.
Yeah.
So what a giant change from 30 donations in 2024 to 465 in 2025 because of that excellent peer-to-peer campaign.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a pilot program and thank you for letting us share your wisdom with our others to help them to follow in your successful footsteps. Thanks, Maria, for being with us here.
I just want to say too, it was amazing to be able to partner with the Archdiocese of St. Louis in this. They made it so easy and gave us so much support. So thank you guys. And
I will tell
St. Louis
Brian and the team that you said so.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. I think we have up Sister Justine and Sister Marion from the Catholic Rural Ministry of Oil City Deanery in the Diocese of Erie, Pennsylvania. So let us see if we can get them on. I see Sister Justine. Oh, it looks like Pat Larson is. Pat Larson? Are you Sister Marion or Pat Larson?
No.
Nope. There he is. There's Sister Marion. I'm so sorry. With all these, it's the Brady Bunch boxes, trying to see everybody that I need to see. So hello, Sister Marion.
Hello.
And thank you for agreeing to participate today in this webinar. Katie and I are iGiveCatholic. We're always trying to fit every different kind of ministry. And you guys are a unique one. You're not a parish. You're not a school. You're a ministry that actually reaches a wide geography. And so you recognize that your donors were different and they had communication preferences that were different than maybe the parents of schools or people that sit in, pews on Sundays. So I see that you sent a letter. Is it to your donors? Was it past donors? Who did you send it to? Service recipients? Who was that letter sent to?
Actually, we did not send a letter. I'm Sister Tina, and we basically sent an email to our email list, and we also posted daily during the advanced giving stage on our Facebook account, Catholic Rural Ministry, as well as Sister Marion will say that we what we linked to, but we went the advanced giving stage because we're in a very rural area with sometimes unreliable internet, and a lot of our donors are aging. So they would much more prefer to write out a check than get online and donate. So we thought, let's invite them to the advanced stage and they can write out a check. They have like many days to do so. So that's why we reminded them daily during the advanced giving. And they came through. It was wonderful.
And I'll say, you say that, but I looked and a third of your donations were made online. So clearly, I mean, you must have added that link in your email to make it easy when they
Yes.
got that email to click right in and give.
Oh,
So you
we
made it,
did.
easy for
Yes.
Yes.
anybody. You can do with your credit card or you write the check or whatever it is, cash if they see you in person. Great job to that. I see you
Yeah.
also added a match this year. And I see that that match was a gift that was made in memory of a longtime supporter of you guys. So when did you know you were going to have this gift? When did you decide to use this match for your campaign?
Well, really, we started last year. We approached one of our sponsors or donors and asked if we could get a match for donations. And because he was very generous, this was very successful last year.
Hmm.
And so this year we wanted to do it again. And then, as Sister Tina was going to tell you, the second donor came along and said, I want to do this. I think it helps the people to feel like their donations go farther when
Yes,
there's a
yes.
matching grant.
Absolutely. There's been research on that it is beneficial both to the major donor feeling ROI, that my gift is inspiring more gifts, and
Mhm.
to the mid-level or low-level donor that says, I don't have much. It's the widow with two
Uh-huh.
coins. I don't have much, but my two coins will be doubled because of this match
Mhm.
opportunity. So you were so correct and wise to use this generous donor to inspire more gifts to your campaign.
Mhm.
I'm really so excited. I wish we had more time to talk to all of you because we are definitely going to learn from your campaign to try to help some of our other rural ministries, those whose constituents don't have reliable internet. So thank you so much for sharing about your
Mhm.
campaign. And I
Can
can't
we?
believe that 4 minutes have already passed. Sister Tina, do you want to say one more thing?
Yes, I do want to add one thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We want to thank um, Elizabeth Rathbun. She's our
Mm.
I Give Catholic person who helps us a lot and helped us get a I Give Catholic button on our website, diocesan website, which we linked to our Facebook. So we had all these links going on. And also, because we know our donors, we thank them at least 3 times during the campaign and with very personalized thank yous. And
Yeah.
I thank yous make a big difference.
I think
They
so
really
too.
do. And we have that in the reference document because that's not the short gain, that's the long gain. That builds a relationship so that the person continues to stay connected to
Yeah,
you. So kudos all around, A plus
thank you.
gold stars. And I hope that you can continue to inspire generosity for the very important work that you do. And also, your page is beautiful. Excellent job explaining your ministry and showing with images, what you do and inspiring somebody to be maybe more generous than they intended. So y'all did a great job. Can't wait to see what you do this year. Baby Joseph is jumping onto the webinar. Hey, Baby Joseph. All right, but we are going to move on now. Thank
Okay.
you so much,
Thank
Sister
you.
Tina, Sister
Thank
Marion,
you.
to Mary Kay Swenson at Most Blessed Sacrament Church in Fort Worth. You were recommended, you and your say hello, Mary Kay, so you can pop up into our
Hi
view.
there.
Um, Great, there you are. You were recommended by your diocesan host, the Advancement Foundation of Fort Worth, because they were so impressed with your campaign this year. And
Thank
we
you.
were too. And so I'm so glad you could join us here today. You guys had your parish hall open all day. Was it just on Giving Tuesday that you did that?
Yes, we do that every year.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing it? Have you gotten more people over the years as
This is
they
our
can
fifth
expect it?
year. It's sparse actually, the people who come in to visit. Um, but we do a lot of fun things that we share over the internet. So a lot of
Ah,
people join us on Facebook Live or some other method of social media.
So they can have fun with it and engage
That's right.
with you while you're doing
That's right.
that. That's right. I see you had 5 different matches that you kind of spread out through the campaign, including a big one in advanced giving. So have the matching strategy, have you been building that over the years as well?
Yes, we have. We try to do that every year as well. So,
So can you tell me a
mhm.
little bit about, I mean, 5 big matches is amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about the donors who provide those matches, their motivations, their
Sure.
responses? What are their communication about their incentives, why they do it?
Right. Well, I want to say that any giving is about relationship. So
Hmm.
if you have to build that relationship first. So as Sister Tina said, you want to thank everyone, but you also want to stay in touch with them throughout the year, let them know what their gift is doing. As we're building our Adoration Chapel right now, which is what we raise money for, we want to continue to let the donors know that their gift is making a difference and let them see that. So it all comes down to the relationship. And then a few weeks before the campaign, we call our donors and ask if they might like to make a matching gift.
Okay, so you do that in the fall. It's when you guys
Yes,
secure your matching gifts. All
correct.
right, yeah, everybody does a little bit differently. So it's just, I think it's nice after you do it the first year, you kind of have an idea of who might do it, and then they have an example of who might also want to follow that. So,
Right.
well, congratulations. It looks like
Thank
you've
you.
raised well above, I mean, almost 50% over your goal in
We did.
2025
We
towards
did.
building
Very
that Adoration Chapel.
generous community, a close-knit community, and like I said, it's the relationships. But we do a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We open up our
Well,
parish hall. Uh-huh.
yeah, I think also in choosing the Adoration Chapel, where many of these donors know that they'll have the benefit of that space when it's completed. I think that's very smart to pick a project that really can affect and impact your entire community. So
Right.
it's a great use of this Giving Day campaign and these, kind of features to offer something tangible that they're going to be able to benefit from.
Thank you. And I love the idea that one of the other people that you're going to talk to, that they have someone praying in the Adoration Chapel during their giving. And I love that.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do next year for
Yeah,
sure.
we have a school
Darn.
that started doing that a few years ago. Their faculty and staff, as soon as school
Mhm.
ends, goes to the Adoration Chapel for a holy hour for their Giving Tuesday campaign. And
Right.
I just think that's beautiful. And the more we can see that, gosh, what other fruits can we pull from this event beyond just the dollars that come in?
Right.
Thank you, Mary
You're
Kay. Thank you for
welcome.
being here
Thank
today.
you.
Can't wait to see what you guys do again this year. And maybe we'll have you, well, we'll see what happens, but can't wait to see what you do online and all the fun shenanigans you do on the day of.
Okay. God bless.
Thanks, Mary Kay.
Thank you.
Now coming from Jackson, Mississippi, St. Richard Catholic School, Celeste. Do you say Saucier, Celeste?
So Shay.
Sachet. Okay, that
That's
sounds like
right.
sachet, like you probably could sachet right down the hall. Um, St. Richard, I'm so glad that Katie wanted to invite you guys because I have seen your social media feed for years of the kooky, fun things that you guys do for your school. And your school, it's a grammar school, yeah? So you have young children in your school
Yes,
that
age 3
might
to 6th grade.
through age 3 to 6th grade. So they definitely would be incentivized by a pie face contest and a kiss
Oh
the
yeah.
pig
Yes,
contest.
definitely. That's their favorite. We throw in free dress just because, but yeah, the pieing in the face, it gets competitive amongst our kids. And this year we did a little different. We did it for family. The year before we did per student, but we felt like it was more attainable for the families to come together because some people have 5 kids, some have
Yes.
one or two kids. So yeah, and we also included our associate pastor, our assistant principal, and our principal. So the students got to pick, which was a lot of fun for them too, to choose who they wanted to pie.
Oh, the winning students got to pick. Okay.
Yes.
And you said so you changed from by student to by family. So it was at the most
Mhm.
donations or the most dollars by family or something like that or
Right. They had a family goal.
yeah.
$300 was our goal per family. And then after that, we had a total goal for the project itself.
Right. And that was the
And
kiss the pig incentive, yes?
that was the Kiss the Pig. Yes. And I had people from all over calling me. How much more do you need? How much more do you need? We got to get Russ, our principal, Russ Nelson, to kiss that pig. And so at first we weren't sure if we were going to get it, but we were so excited when we did. And then I had to find the pig. So that was the best. We had parents.
I
Yes.
imagine that would be more difficult in some communities than others.
It was more difficult than I thought that it would be, honestly. But we had parents come in to see Russ kiss the pig. It was a blast. Yes.
So I also want to mention that not only did you understand the kind of fun motivations that inspire your kids and their families and your community, like these fun things, you also made a project that was very much in need. The water system in Jackson, Mississippi is not what it should be. And so
Right.
there's concern about providing safe water for your entire school community. So this was a very important project to protect your whole school community, everybody on your campus. So it's a double win where when somebody is giving or when they're, reaching out and fundraising on your behalf, there's a real tangible benefit there in addition to the fun pie smash.
Well, yeah, everybody knew about, I mean, it seems like everybody countrywide knew about our water system in Jackson. And so that was a big project that we thought would be meaningful to more than just, our school community or our church community. And we had several different states chip in and give to the project. And we were excited to say that we've made that goal.
So I think that's a beautiful opportunity when a school or any organization says, there's this one-time expense that we really need to invest in an organization. We don't know where we're going to get these dollars from. Maybe turn that iGiveCatholic campaign to that project for those one-time dollars for these special projects. We've seen it over and over again that iGiveCatholic can be activated for that. So congratulations, Celeste. Thank you for being here today. I would love to hold your pig. I don't know if I want to kiss it, but I'd love to pet that pig. But I can't wait to see your videos this year with your lovely, cute kiddos and your just enthusiastic community there in Jackson and St. Richard. And congratulations. I hope you keep growing that generosity and support of your beautiful school.
Well, thank you very much for having us here on this today.
Yeah, we're so grateful. We're so grateful. We've been watching you for a while. So glad we could have you on the top 10 for today. All right, speaking of somebody else who has participated for a long time, Echo Community is based, it says here in New Orleans, Louisiana, but I think you are just north of New Orleans in Folsom, Louisiana. Only reason I know that is because I'm in the New Orleans area myself. But hello, Rachel Kahn. You're, again, like the rural ministry in Erie, Pennsylvania, you're not a school, you're not a parish. So there's a different kind of fundraising strategy for you. Rachel, can you talk to us a little bit about Echo and who your community is?
Yes, so Echo Community is a really incredible ministry. Our name comes from the heart of St. John Paul II and his writings on the theology of the body, and he talks about how we all have this echo of the Garden of Eden and the experience of innocence that we all was our original beginning that we have in our hearts that we carry. And so it's just for humanity to remember who we are in the eyes of the Lord and to restore our God-given identities and confidence so that young people particularly can live out their missions in the world confidently and in his view, in the Lord's view of what it means to be human and man and woman. So I think it's one of the most important missions in today's world. I think it's a real battleground, and I'm so joyful to get to support that. So
awesome. That's awesome, Rachel. And you guys have I've been watching you for a few years because you guys have fun. I think you changed out was it your copy machine? You had a really funny video about it or something?
Yes, that was a great video a few years ago.
Yeah, it was just so funny. And I do find, just like St. Richard's, watching the principal get pie smashed or kiss a pig or whatever, they trend in social media because it makes you smile. And then, somebody sends it to somebody and whatever. So y'all have been very creative and have been adjusting your campaign, and you guys have participated for 10 years now, right? Because New Orleans is it's the founder of the iGiveCatholic Giving Day. And so did you guys participate in that first year or was it in the second year?
I am not totally sure.
I think maybe it was the second year.
It might have been the second or third year. I'm new, so I've been here for about a year. So I was grateful to inherit a lot of what we've done and then be able to expand it more. So it's been a
Great. So this year I see that you did a live stream event and you guys synced some things with your live stream event. You did a volunteer phone-a-thon during your live stream event, as well as you did an adoration prayer, a prayer and adoration during the live
Mhm.
stream event as well. Do you have an adoration chapel on site or were
We
these
do.
volunteers dispersed? Okay, so
Yes,
they
so
were on site.
we have a really beautiful campus, and that was what we were fundraising for. It's about 20 acres, and we have an adoration chapel, or a chapel, and we have permission to expose the Blessed Sacrament. And so it's a huge grace to have volunteers in the heart of our chapel. And I've been just deeply convicted that it's the Lord who inspires generosity. And so we all have a human need to be generous, and people need to understand that there's a real impact of their generosity. And so the donors that are giving to the mission are no less a part of the mission than those of us who are the boots on the ground doing the mission. But it is the Lord who converts in the same way that it's the Lord who converted the heart of St. Paul. It's the Lord who calls us and gives us the grace to say yes to generosity. And so we had volunteers in the chapel the whole evening, but we were also interceding and praying for people to be moved to generosity in the weeks leading up to our campaign as well.
If you gave them talking points, your volunteer phone-a-thon people, and those were those talking points, I can see why you were so successful. You speak so beautifully and eloquently about the spirituality of fundraising and stewardship. So I can see how that would be helpful. How did you recruit those volunteers for your phone-a-thon or the adoration? Did they rotate? How do
Yes.
you get people to commit to do it?
That's a great question. And so that's, I think, one of the gifts of our ministry is that a lot of young adults have had their lives changed by our ministry, by retreats that we put on, or by leadership formation and things like that. And so there's a growing network of young adult leaders in the local community that that they want to give back.
Yeah.
And so it's just a few phone calls, and people are so eager to have a reason to come and contribute and be a part of something that's really beautiful. And so, yeah, we recruited volunteers, and I think we had about 10 to 20 people probably come. And I worked with some of them and gave them scripts for phone calls or text messages. I think mainly we'd use text messages. At one point, one of my coworkers had the inspiration to look up the list of everyone who gave to our campaign last year. And so that was a huge part of our campaign, was that having volunteers actually send personalized text messages and saying, hey, you gave to our campaign last year. We're fundraising again this year. Would you give again? And we
Right.
saw people in real time make donations because of those text messages.
That's really great.
They also wrote thank you notes. And so every person who gave to our campaign got a handwritten thank you note. And then the adoration. And actually, one of the best moments of our campaign, at the very end, we had about $12,000 left, and it was it was right after or right before our last live stream. And we paused, and our executive director had the inspiration for us to pause and ask the Lord. We had a moment of silence, and everyone asked the Lord to put people's names on our hearts that we were supposed to reach out to and ask to make donations. And so within about 10 minutes, we got two $5,000 donations. And I was the one interceding in the chapel at that time. And so when I came out of the chapel and we had met our goal, it was incredible. So
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Great work. I hear this, the service recipients is what I would kind of call that when ministries tell me, like, I don't have students, I don't have alumni, I don't have parishioners. I'm like, well, who receives your services? Because if they've benefited from you, they'd be the best ambassadors to reach out on your behalf. And then the other part is talking about looking at last year's donors. Now in the Mighty Cause platform, anybody can go on their dashboard and look at retention report now that we've gone through it a year. So you will be able to see live in the campaign who has given again and who has not given again. So great strategy. Hopefully all of our new tools you'll be able to use, and all of you will be able to use with great fruit. Thank you for being with us today, Rachel. I appreciate it, and
you.
can't wait to see what you guys bring forth again this year.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Mary Sullivan from St. Edward's Catholic Church and School in Louisville. Mary, can you say hello so we can see you? There you are.
Hi, how are
Hello,
you?
Mary. So this was your first year participating in iGiveCatholic, that's correct?
It was.
Yeah, because I think Louisville has only been a partner. They had their own Giving Day maybe 3 or 4 years, right? So it's still pretty new in Louisville, but they've had a really great start. But it was your first year, and you guys raised over $100,000 in this first year. First of all, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
amazing. If an organization said this is our first year and we have a $100,000 goal, I would ask them why. But your goal was $85,000 and you blew it out. So that's really exciting. Can you tell me a little bit about what was the delay? Like since it had started, and then why this year and why the positive response? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So this was my first year here at St. Edward. And so the email invitation came out, and then it was shared with the staff from the pastor, and he was like, "Well, what do you think?" And I, of course, was right on it, and I'm like, "Absolutely, why not? Why wouldn't
Yes.
we do this?" And then it was like, "Great, you're it." So,
Great. Good,
and
because that's what it takes is a go-getter who's passionate and enthusiastic about your organization, your project. You guys had a really great project. Again, you picked something that was going to apply to and benefit everyone in your community. Can you tell me about how you guys chose your project?
So we have a school as a main anchor to our parish, but also it is the one building we all use at different times. If you've got a meeting, you typically go have it
Hmm.
in the school. If you are doing vacation Bible school, you'll borrow one of the classrooms from the day. So it is truly a building that gets used by all of the parish for different occasions, but there is nothing like the tie to a child or a school
Hmm.
where our focus is to be disciples and to make disciples.
Yes.
So this was really one of those occasions where, it was like, what is the one theme that everyone can feel good about being a part of?
And so you were renovating your hallways, is that correct? So changing out the lighting and repainting them and just making them brighter and more exciting?
Well, and also year over year, the funding just didn't prioritize. Why do we have 25 cables all strapped to the corner of the ceiling as you walk? I mean, it was like, do we need all 25 of those cables? I'm not sure that
Right.
we do. So, but again, bigger projects created the bigger need on the budget, and that was just never it. But when parents come through and they're looking for a prospective school or a community, you know, fresh paint goes a long way, and
Hmm.
lighting that's consistent as you walk down the hallway instead of shadowy in places,
Hmm.
those all leave that lingering feeling. So it's like when you judge a book by its cover,
Right.
we had the
First
heart,
impressions. Yeah.
but if you walked in not knowing us, you would think that wasn't important to us.
Right.
It
Well, and I see that you involved your pastor too, and that's so important. And not every parochial school or not every parish has a pastor who's willing to be on a video or campaign images. So it sounds like he was supportive when you suggested this campaign.
As a matter of fact, so when we came back, we said, yes, we're going to do it. This is great. He had never done a fundraising. This is his first parish assignment. And he had never done fundraising. And so people were coaching him, like, Father, this is how you get it done. You make a few phone calls.
Right.
So he sat down in my office and said, I got you $50,000 in matching grants. All I need you to do is come up with the other 50. And I almost had a heart attack, but it was great. He was enthusiastic. And we have a parish who loves our pastor. So when
Yep.
the pastor puts something like a
Yep.
request out there,
Big difference.
people
Yeah.
want to support
Yep.
in addition to our principal and the kids,
Right.
but it was a feel good.
So I hear you, and I'm going to emphasize this for you that I Give Catholic can be an excellent practicum in fundraising that you can then continue to use year round. But you've got this guide to follow to get the steps, to get that feel good feeling of knowing that, stewardship is a gift and there's a spirituality of it, and it's not begging for money, it's inviting into mission. But also, it's a great way to introduce a new pastor, to connect them, to use or to engage a charismatic pastor. And so I have heard from a very successful parish, the pastor, having the pastor as a cheerleader, not the quarterback, not the coach, but the cheerleader is such a great asset to really activate and energize your congregation. So congratulations, Mary. What a beautiful first start. And now that your congregation has a taste of success, who knows? The sky's the limit on what you guys can do in the future for your parish
We are
and your school.
we're already working on next year's program, and
Smart lady.
I do want to give a quick shout out that this was such a team effort. The first thing we did was create a team, and I gave everyone a binder with the guideline and the timeline, and we stuck to that like a textbook. So I do want to shout out that the timeline was amazing for a newbie, a first time, and also that whole team effort. People all wanted to do their part.
Well, we're going to come back to you, Mary, and try to get that timeline from you, if you wouldn't mind, so that we could link it and add it to this document later. We've posted those before from other very organized campaigns that have a timeline, and we have one from Chesterton they created for their group. But you're right, you being organized makes it easier for people to join the team and be successful. Good job, Mary. Can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much. And our next visitor could not be with us here today. Last minute was not be able to be here. So we have a video from him. This is Rick Carrico. So Katie is going to share screen if she has internet again. And we will hear from Rick Carrico from St. Louis Catholic Church in Lexington, Kentucky about their campaign.
All right. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yep.
All right. And Lisa nods. We're going to turn this on.
Development Director here at St. Leo Catholic Church and School in Versailles, Kentucky. This was our 7th year participating with iGiveCatholic. Our original project was to renovate the church, but unfortunately the approval paperwork did not get processed on a timely basis, so we went to Plan B. We were able to secure a matching donation of $250,000 from a parish family for retiring our $4.25 million debt. Our goal was $250,000 parishioner and school donations, $250,000 matching donation for a total of $500,000 going toward our principal. At the end of the iGiveCatholic window, we were a little short. We had donations of $231,000 and change, matching $231,000 and change, and a total of $463,673. We had a total of 177 donors, raising funds to borrow the debt of $4.25 may cause parishioners to feel defeated even before it starts. We had to break it down into bite-sized goals. So story started with, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Our very first year in iGiveCatholic, I was told to have 2 things to be successful. One is you must have a story that resonates with the community. You also must have skin in the game. St. Leo's skin in the game is 50% of our total dollar before iGiveCatholic Day opens. That could be matching donation. It could also be early giving. With an older parish, we relied heavily on iGiveCatholic envelopes, cash, check donations. We updated our running total throughout the entire campaign and more frequently as we neared the end. Another bit of information we promoted before and during the event was the $250,000 matching donor said that they would consider making a similar or larger donation if we met the $250,000 match. As the giving window closed, we were about $36,000 short, 18 and change from donations and 18 and change from the matching donor. A funny thing happened when I shared our results. I started getting phone calls, text, asking if the matching dollars were still available if they donated after the event. They were, and they did. We had 176 donors, but we had 200 total donations. That means that 24 of the 176 donors came back and gave a second time after they saw how close we were to maximizing the total $250,000 match. Our final total was $509,573. 3 months later, because we met the challenge, the same donor gave an additional $750,000 to bring their grand total donation to $1 million. which was announced during our centennial anniversary celebration of St. Anthony's School. It's better. Because of the generosity of this donor, we had another parish family that issued a second challenge. Reduce the debt to $1 million and they will pay off the remaining balance in full. Being in the heart of horse country, England, Churchill Downs, the Derby, our goal is to look to complete the trifecta of $1 million donations to allow us to dump the debt in 2022. Thank you.
All right, so I know that was a little bit challenging. Thank you for bearing with us. It was a last minute medical procedure you had to schedule, so we can't get in the way of that. But we did put the link to that video in the chat in case you want to look at it later. We'll also add the link to that video in the reference document later. We'll update it in case you want to hear about it. But it basically, long story short, $4.25 billion debt to attack. And so they made a really big progress and had built some inspiration behind that. So it's an interesting, unique campaign that's normally not too attractive. They had really great success with. Next up is Lindsay Torres from Walsingham Academy in Richmond, Virginia. Hello, Lindsay. I see you already. So
Hello.
Can you say hello? So there you go. There we are.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're so glad to have you. I was really excited to see Katie's notes on your program because you created a parent ambassador program, and that it looks like you also engaged your alumni and grandparents, maybe some other groups, to help you fundraise. So can you talk to me a little bit what that is? What was their expectations of you and what you do provide them? And what were your expectations of them? What were you asking of them?
Yeah, so a few years ago, I think it was 2021, we decided to do a fall parent giving campaign because I started in 2019, and that's when we first did our iGiveCatholic campaign. And we were like, okay, we need to do more of sort of a focused effort on our parent giving and try to do that during the first half of the fiscal year instead of like scrambling toward the end. And so iGiveCatholic really fell nicely into the campaign for our parents, which we call our Done in 60 campaign. So it starts around like beginning of November through the end of the calendar year. And then it's really nice to have iGiveCatholic right kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And so we recruited parent ambassadors. So we have parents who volunteer for that time frame, and it makes it really nice because those who maybe can't commit for the whole year and want to do something to help can serve as a parent ambassador. And it's also something that they can do, from home. And I put together a whole training packet for them for making phone calls, emails. I provide template emails for them and throughout the whole timeline kind of our Done in 60 campaign. But then we really ramp it up during that iGiveCatholic, because if we have a matching gift and we can tell them that they can be part of, that'll fulfill their participation for the parent campaign. It'll go toward Giving Day totals, GivingTuesday totals, and then it'll also count toward that, match if we have a match. And so we have at least one parent assigned to each grade level. So we're early learners, so like pre-K 3 through 12th grade. So we have.
So it's just a small group of parent ambassadors then. So it's not a whole lot of them.
It's not a whole lot of them. It's usually, sometimes we'll have a couple parents assigned to a grade and they kind of team up. Over the past couple of years, there were some of our parents who were assigned because they have younger children. They were like, you know what? These parents are tired of hearing from me. So they were like, why don't I be assigned to like our seniors? And they can, and then, parents of seniors who then they could, kind of get their impression of your advice for, kids going through the school.
Different perspectives. Yeah.
Yeah, different perspectives. So that's been really exciting. So so we have like one meeting where we do training with our ambassadors. And then this past year was our first year where we had a chair of that committee. So she kind of took on that role of being assistants to the providing assistance rather to those ambassadors. And then also, helping out with some of the communications and writing those templates and things like that.
Volunteers can be so incredibly helpful if you can get them organized to be productive. And I think that's the trick. And sometimes,
Yeah.
we do encourage organizations who have less staff capacity.
Mhm.
What are your volunteer opportunities? But great job in trying to create a structure that was attainable. Couple of people per grade. Here's your handbook. Here's your training. Now, here's your chair to support you through this campaign. I think having that kind of a structure helps your volunteers know what to do and help them be productive for you. And that way you don't have to be holding their hand through the whole time too. So you can step
Yeah,
away.
and I think once we kind of learned as we went by like, okay, I think we need to provide more information and saying, okay, this would be a great time in this week to reach out about this. And then once someone gives, we let them know immediately. So
Yeah.
we're like, letting them
So you're
know,
feeding it.
yeah, we're feeding it. And then it's like, okay, well, let's ramp things up with the excitement of I Give Catholic. And, that has really helped having that in the middle of that parent campaign. And then you would mention the alumni and the grandparents. So we've kind of dabbled in this, and I'd love to keep expanding on it in, years to come, but getting a couple of grandparents who are willing to call other grandparents, and then alumni willing to reach out to those in their class years or in their that would have gone to
Yes,
school with
sure.
them, who they have
Yeah.
connections with. So that's been really, really huge.
I think that is probably the most brilliant, I think, strategy I want to pull from this, I think is easily applicable, is volunteering ambassadors to talk to their
Yeah.
peers. So whether
Yeah.
it's parents of parents talking to
Mhm.
parents, active parents, grandparents talking to grandparents, alumni talking to alumni. Brilliant. And I can't wait to see how you develop this program, this volunteer program, and continue to support them. Because we want to learn from you so that we can share that out with our other I Give Catholic schools to, plagiarize. Thank you so much for being with
Look
us here
out,
today,
holy
Lindsay.
plagiarism.
That's right, holy plagiarism. We're on the same team, Team Christ. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you
Can't
so
wait to
much
see
for
you.
having me.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Elizabeth Gelano from Corpus Christi in Mobile, Alabama. Did I say Gelano correctly? Or please
You
correct me if it's.
did. You
Oh
said
my
it
goodness.
correctly. It's amazing. But you're in New Orleans, you said, so I'm
Yeah.
not surprised.
Yeah. So if it's a French name, I'm okay. If you give me some other, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe if it's Polish or if it's Native American, I'll do my best. But anyway, great to have you, Elizabeth.
Thank
I
you.
remember seeing you also have a very engaging, charismatic pastor who I remember seeing in videos of your past
We do.
projects. So good for you, because it seems like you guys have had some really great success with your I Give Catholic campaigns. And you've only had 3, is that correct? And you've really taken off.
Yes. I know. We used to do the I Give Catholic with our school years ago before I was
Ah,
here. And then I started doing some video content. I'm a photographer that started, volunteering in my parish, evolved into doing other work. And so video was kind of where we started. And when I Give Catholic came across my plate, I said, we can do this. It's all
yes.
laid out here. It's step by step. And so we picked an easy project. I say easy. It seemed like a doable the first year. And then that was successful. And so then we were just like, well, what could we do that's bigger? And that's how we
Right.
started.
Well, and I'll share with the attendees and folks listening, it was a $10,000 project to upgrade the adult education room. And I remember you guys are really good about doing before and afters. You show what it looked like before. You showed videos of people, I think it was your pastor, or maybe it had been a guest lecturer,
Yes.
using the room
Yes.
after it was renovated. And that gives your community that taste for success. We did
Yes.
this together. And if we could do this, what more can we do? And you replaced was it your pews, or was it
Yeah,
reupholstered
the
your pews
upholstery.
last year?
Yes. So we try to pick a project that is parish. We have a school here. That's our greatest ministry. We try to choose a project that the church and school, everyone benefits from. So our
Yes.
adult education room is used by our school and our church. Like, it is the most used room. So that was very easy for people to connect with. Everyone could see how they could, benefit from it. And the same with the pews. I mean, our school has,
Yeah.
weekly mass in the church, and people
Right.
can see it, it's visible. And so when it came to this year's project with windows and doors, it was quite a bit bigger. But it's so important both for the aesthetics and just security of the building, but
Security, yes,
also
of
like
course.
the weathering. We're in
Yes.
Mobile and our rain is so awful and our sun is
Yeah.
so awful. We are in a drought right now, which has kind of been good for our window installation
Right.
that's happening. But you know, it's very visible for people to see, and everyone, it touches everyone.
Yep.
And so that's what our goal has been. Pick a project that people can see,
Yep.
can benefit from it. And really that's because of the iGiveCatholic tools that are provided, and we just really follow. I mean, everything is laid out so well, and our archdiocese does a wonderful job with sending weekly emails. And I don't know if everybody does that, but the emails they send, it just keeps you on track, and it
They
just
come from
really,
Katie. They go
it's
to
so
all the
great.
diocesan
And then they go to them
administrators.
and then they forward
They
it.
tweak them and send them out to you. Yes,
It's
it's
so
all plug
great.
and play.
It is so great. And I love that reminder to do the next, you know, it keeps us on track for sure.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. I think there's three things really going well with Corpus Christi. And one of them is you guys keep picking that project that's going to appeal to everybody. You've got this charismatic pastor who's willing to be the face of your campaign. And then providentially, God brought you and your camera and videography school skills to the campaign because that video is more than 1,000 words. So great job, Elizabeth. Thank you for applying your skills and talents to this, parish. And we look forward to seeing what you guys choose for this year and how your congregation comes
Yes,
together.
we are already talking about next year's project. And I will say
Good.
too, our principal and our pastor are such a strong team. And we talk about that project early on. And then we just, once we pick the project, it's go, you know,
Great.
that's all hands on deck to make it happen.
Well, thanks, Elizabeth. And we look forward to seeing your success this year.
Thank
And
you.
now we welcome another veteran. I got to say, it is our #1 peer-to-peer program year after year. This is Katie Washington from the St. Thomas More Catholic Campus Ministry at University of South Carolina it says Charleston, but I think you're in Columbia.
We're in Columbia. We're under the Diocese of Charleston, but we are located in Columbia, South Carolina.
And we are also joined by Caitlin. Okay, now I said the Polish names I'm going to have a hard time with. Is it Galiski? How do you say your last name, Caitlin? You are muted right now, so we need to unmute you. Let's see if we can find that, or if my Katie can help us unmute Katie Galiski to tell me how to say her name correctly.
Galiski is correct.
Caitlin. Okay, good. Caitlin was the top peer-to-peer fundraiser for the USC campaign this year. Caitlin, you should now be unmuted now, so you can say hello.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name's Caitlin.
Yeah, so you guys have been featured on Top 10 before, so thank you, Katie, for coming back on. It's interesting, you guys have done it for a few years, and I mean, you raised over $350,000 this year, and Caitlin was the top earner for your campaign. As I was talking to Katie here, what more can we say about this program and how you so expertly and deftly, train, motivate, support your students to be ambassadors for your program? She was talking about how Caitlin worked the room at your day of event and how some of your former students who were fundraisers have now gone to be focus missionaries and have used the skills that they've learned in fundraising for St. Thomas More to help them fundraise for Focus. So one of you, Katie, you can either talk about the experience of former students as they move on, and then I'd love to hear from Caitlin about what you've learned in this experience of fundraising, being an ambassador for St. Thomas More.
Sure. So yeah, Caitlin's been in our top 2 to 3 fundraisers for the last 2 years. So she's also a veteran, but she is very good at just getting out there and talking to people, which is much appreciated, especially in college students. It's nice to see them learning those skills. We have a very, I would say, what is the word you used, enthusiastic and competitive pastor as well. He likes to see the students succeed. He likes to see the ministry succeed. So we set up the peer-to-peer fundraising and really harness our students with incentive programs. And a lot of them have gone on to become focused missionaries. So they, are able to learn the skills at St. Thomas More doing this, and then they take them to Focus. And then what's fun is even after they've graduated, they are very aware now of the student fundraising competition. And so they follow it closely throughout the day. And it usually ends up being guys versus girls. We have prizes like if a guy wins, they get like a lunch and a shooting ski day with father. If the ladies win, we get a spa day. We have prizes for the top donor, for the number, most money raised, and then most donors, and then different incentives that sort of go down. So the alumni now start watching it very closely to see how things are looking at the end of the day and how they can nudge their gender group over the finish line. So it's a lot
I love
of
that.
fun, and it's kind of carried through. I started in 21. That was our first big iGiveCatholic, and it's grown every year since then. And now we have like 4 years of alumni who now follow along with us, and so it's been a great experience. And Caitlin is a wonderful representative of that student population.
So Caitlin, please, we only have 5 more minutes left of this webinar. So please quickly tell us about your experience so it's been a few years. So tell us about learning and what the lessons that you picked up through this experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a student fundraiser this year for iGiveCatholic, and then I was a student fundraiser last year for iGiveCatholic. And what is really great is at the beginning when they send it out and it's iGiveCatholic, everyone, we want student fundraisers. They tell us all the perks, like we get the men's versus women's and spa day, shooting, all these things. And then even people who aren't number 1 or number 2, they get gift cards, and it seems like for our investment for the church, we're getting reinvested in. And I think that's the common theme at the Newman Center, is that we're constantly being poured into. And so it really feels great when it gets to that time and we're being asked to do something for our parish and Newman Center that gives so much to us. And so we have an opportunity to give to the church itself. And the experiences in which we are able to communicate with those donors and given lists of donors to contact and email, and the fundraising event that we have the night of iGiveCatholic. And I think it's so difficult to figure out how to communicate with prospective donors. And what I love about STM Development Office, specifically Katie, is the ability to work with students and understand that we have busy schedules and it's hard to figure out a prospective list of people to contact. And so helping us get connected to people to call and helping us connect with parishioners and at the event that we have the night of, and the competitive spirit that we have and getting all the alumni involved, it makes it very fun, but then also very rewarding.
So just for those who don't know, or just it's in the reference document, but Katie gives a list of 50 previous donors to each fundraiser who signs up, and they need to touch them 3 times, either 2 emails and a phone call, 2 phone calls and an email. And once they get through their list of 50, they can go ask for another 50. And these are, as Caitlin said, these are existing donors. They've already supported in the past, so this isn't new. I also know that Katie and Father Williams, the pastor, they have relationships that they steward all year for the major gifts that provide the matches that incentivize and double up and everything. But it's a really beautiful structure and setup that you guys have going there. I hope that you can continue to build on it, and you are experiencing that spirituality of stewardship right there and giving that firsthand experience to bring forward.
And if I could just offer, to Caitlin's point, one of the byproducts, which has been very nice, is we are a campus ministry for the University of South Carolina, but we're also a small personal parish. So we have a little over 100 families registered with us. And since our primary mission is campus ministry, the parish is very supportive, but they maybe don't always have the resources you would get in a standard parish. And so what's really nice about the event and the student fundraisers is getting to bring those 2 groups together. And you allow the parishioners, who are very supportive of the mission and the ministry, to see the students, to interact with the students, and to really see what they get to support, the fruits of their generosity, their labor, and their time. And then the students get that time to thank them, to interact with them, and to see who is really coming out, and to use Caitlin's phrase, pouring into them to see that their faith is nurtured and formed during their college experience.
Thank you so much, Katie. We are at the 3 o'clock hour. So thank you both, Caitlin and Katie. Katie, here, if you can pop up that last screen, we're just going to look at the upcoming dates that are coming up, timeline, quickly before we close out. I know I talk fast, guys. I'm sorry. And I rush these conversations, but it's because this is what happens. It flies by and then we're at the end. But all we're going to look at is kind of our upcoming dates. Right now is the time, and already so many of you have already started to think about, what is your project going to be? Who are the people that are going to help you? Go to our website. The trainings page is still there. If you go to our website and you click participants, and you can see, new resources down to Giving Tuesday. Our goal setting guides on our website. You can use that to start thinking strategically about early planning. And then registration opens on August 17, where you will have, the whole all of iGiveCatholic website will transition back to Giving Tuesday in June. All of our resources for the 2026 campaign will be up there this summer, probably mid-June. Then so you can look forward to registering in mid-August and joining us on December 1st for iGiveCatholic on Tuesday, number 12. Thank you all. We haven't seen too many questions today, but if you have any, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you for being here today. And we are praying for you, and we're watching you, we're following you, we're cheering for you to inspire and celebrate generosity for each of your beautiful missions. Thanks, everyone.